Have you ever wondered why she suddenly starts chasing you when you pull away? But when you're always there, she barely notices? It's not about you not being present. It's about the truth that your absence holds a power. Your constant presence never will. Welcome to today's video, where we dive deep into one of the most powerful psychological shifts a woman experiences when you're no longer around. Spoiler alert, it's not as simple as she misses you. It's so much more. Here's the thing most men don't realize. The moment you withdraw, not out of games or manipulation, but because you're focused on yourself, that's when the magic happens. That's when she starts to truly feel your value. In today's video, we're going to break down the unseen emotional process that happens when you pull back. No, it's not about mind games or making her chase you. It's about creating space for her to confront her own feelings. And trust me, she won't be the same after this. Stick with me, and let's get into it. Part 1. She only feels your worth when you're gone. Let's get real for a moment. Most men don't realize this simple truth. A woman doesn't truly feel your worth until she's faced with your absence. Think about it. When you're always around, texting her constantly, calling her every day, showing up whenever she needs you, you become part of her routine. You become predictable, always there, like a constant in the background of her life. She expects your attention, your care, and your validation to always be there when she needs it. And when this becomes the case, she stops appreciating it. Not because she's ungrateful or manipulative, but because human nature tends to take things for granted when they're easily accessible. Here's where the magic happens. When you pull away, not out of anger or to play games, but because you're focusing on yourself, on your growth, on your own life, that's when she begins to feel the loss. You don't have to make her miss you on purpose. The mere fact that you've removed yourself from the equation is enough. The emotional safety net she once felt was always there. It disappears. In the silence of your absence, she begins to question everything. Why hasn't he texted me? Is he losing interest? Did I say something wrong? Did I mess this up? For the first time in a long time, she starts to do the emotional work that she hasn't had to do while you were constantly available. She begins to question the emotional comfort she once took for granted. She starts to realize just how much she relied on you to feel validated, to feel wanted, to feel seen. And here's the game changer. This shift is not something she can ignore. It's not because you played hard to get or tried to manipulate her emotions. No, it's because you disappeared long enough for her to finally notice your true value. This moment of realization doesn't come from you chasing her or begging for her attention. It happens naturally when you decide that your life and your peace of mind are just as important as being available to her. So remember this: your presence will never hit as hard as your absence. When you pull back with confidence, when you let her feel your absence in her life, that's when she starts to measure your true value. And that's where the real power lies. You didn't have to convince her. You didn't have to beg. You just had to be strong enough to disappear long enough for her to see your worth. Part 2. Your absence forces her to chase herself. Here's something that most men miss completely. When you step back, she doesn't just chase you, she starts chasing herself. Now, I know this might sound strange, but hear me out. When you're constantly around, always there to provide emotional support, to give her attention, to validate her, she doesn't need to confront her own emotions. You and your constant presence serve as a distraction from the deeper questions she's avoiding, questions about herself. But when you pull away, when you create that space, she's forced to confront the emotions she's been suppressing. No more daily check-ins, no more constant text messages, no more emotional crutches to lean on. She's left alone with her own thoughts, with the silence of your absence echoing in her mind. At first, it may seem like she's unbothered. Maybe she goes out more, posts more on social media, even acts like she's having a blast. But behind that mask, she's facing a growing emotional storm. She starts asking herself deep questions that she was too comfortable to ask before. Do I actually miss him? Or do I just miss the attention? Was I taking him for granted? Am I really happy? Or was he the one who made me feel this way? This is where the emotional tension builds. Your absence has created an emotional vacuum, and now she has to fill it. No more distractions, no more excuses. She's stuck with her own emotions, and the crazy thing is, she won't even realize it at first. But as the days go by, she'll start to replay conversations in her head, wonder if she made a mistake, doubt her own behavior, and second-guess everything. This is where the real transformation happens. She's no longer just questioning you, she's questioning herself. Was I enough for him? That's the question that starts to burn at the back of her mind. She no longer has control. And for a woman, this loss of control is unsettling. What's powerful about this is that you didn't have to say a word. You didn't have to manipulate her feelings or beg for her attention. All you had to do was create the space for her to chase clarity, to chase the deeper understanding of her own feelings. And when she chases herself, when she faces the reality of her own behavior, that's when the power flips. She's no longer chasing you because you're always there. She's chasing her own emotions, her own self-worth. And that's when things get real. The dynamic of the relationship changes not because you forced it, but because she was forced to face herself, and in doing so, she begins to value you more than she ever did before. Don't miss out. I know this may be hitting close to home, but trust me, this is the moment when you unlock true power in the relationship. Your absence doesn't just change how she feels about you, it changes how she feels about herself. Before we dive even deeper into the dynamics of this powerful shift, I want you to really think about this. Have you ever pulled back from a woman and watched her react? Or have you been the one chasing her, constantly texting, calling, and wondering why she doesn't appreciate it? If you haven't tried stepping back yet, now's your time to understand how absence can turn everything in your favor. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps us create even more insightful videos for you. Your support means the world to us and allows us to continue bringing you high-quality content. Thank you for being here, and let's keep diving into the power of silence. Part 3. She begins to realize what she took for granted. We've all been there, investing time, energy, and attention into someone, believing that the effort will be appreciated. But what often happens? She took it for granted. At first, everything feels easy. She knows you'll always be there, texting back quickly, checking in, showing up at the right times. But over time, familiarity breeds complacency. She stops noticing the small things you do to show her you care, to show her she matters. She begins to expect your attention, and the more you give, the less she truly values it. It becomes background noise. But here's the brutal truth. Once you pull away, everything changes. When you disappear, even for just a little while, everything she ignored comes rushing back. She starts to feel the void you left. Suddenly, those little moments you gave her, the compliments, the encouragement, the consistency, the things she brushed off as routine, become glaringly absent. She starts to remember how you always called her after a tough day, or how you made sure she felt safe and cared for, even when she didn't ask for it. She recalls how you listened to her talk about her dreams and her fears, and how your actions always showed her she mattered. But now with your absence, she has nothing to distract her from the truth. She doesn't have your reassuring presence, your words, or your attention to make her feel important. And here's the kicker. It's too late. You're not there anymore. The space you've created forces her to face the fact that you were giving her everything she needed, but she wasn't truly appreciating it until it was gone. This is when regret begins to settle in. And regret isn't just sadness. It's a mix of shame and memory. She starts replaying everything in her mind. The times she took you for granted. The times she ignored your efforts. The times she didn't value the things you did because she thought you'd always be there. The regret isn't just about losing you. It's about realizing that she didn't recognize your worth while it was in front of her. It's about her seeing herself in a different light. Guilt creeping in as she remembers how she tested you or took you for granted. The real shift happens when she sees the man she took for granted in a completely new light. She realizes the genuine love, care, and commitment you gave. The contrast between the man she had and the silence left in his place forces her to reconsider her actions, her decisions, and her treatment of you. It's at this point that the weight of her own choices becomes too much to bear. She now fully understands the value of the connection she once had with you. Unfortunately, it usually hits her too late. Part 4. Her own emotions turn against her. At first, when you pull away, she might seem unaffected. She might even look relieved, like she finally has the space she wanted, the freedom to be herself, without the pressure of your presence. She may go out more, post more on social media, act like everything is fine. You might even think, she doesn't care. She's fine without me. But here's the truth you won't see right away. Inside, her emotions are turning against her. You see, women don't just feel things emotionally. They process those emotions mentally too. So while she may seem calm or unaffected on the surface, the emotional waves are crashing underneath. When you were around, you provided the emotional feedback she needed to keep herself grounded. Your attention, your words, your actions, all acted as emotional anchors. Without you, that anchor is gone, and she's left floating in a sea of uncertainty. She starts to doubt everything she felt, everything she knew. Why isn't he texting me? Was I wrong? Did I mess this up? And here's the real kicker. She starts to doubt herself. The absence you created forces her to confront the very emotions she was trying to avoid. Without you there to distract her, she's left alone with her thoughts. No more reassurance, no more emotional safety net. She's stuck in a space where the answers she's looking for are inside herself, and those answers aren't always easy to face. She starts replaying everything, the good, the bad, the moments where she took you for granted. This emotional storm that she's been running from, it finally catches up with her. She's left spiraling. Wondering what went wrong, wondering if she was enough, wondering if she messed things up. At this point, she's not just wondering if you've moved on, she's wondering if she ever truly valued you the way she should have. This is where emotional confusion sets in. It's not just about missing you, it's about her own self-worth. She starts questioning her actions and decisions. Did she push you away when she shouldn't have? Did she take you for granted when you were always there for her? The longer the silence lasts, the more intense these thoughts become. She begins to feel the weight of her own mistakes, and that weight becomes harder to bear. The emotional balance she once had with you is now lost. Without you there to ground her, she begins to feel the effects of the absence more sharply than she expected. She's left fighting with her own emotions, and there's no one there to give her the clarity or reassurance she used to get from you. Here's where it gets really real. Her emotions become her enemy. She'll start feeling things she didn't expect. Guilt, confusion, anxiety, because your absence leaves her to fight those feelings alone. She starts wondering, why didn't he chase me? Was I not worth his time? This is the point where most men feel guilty and consider reaching out to ease the tension, to end the silence. But don't. This is the moment where the power flips. You've stepped back, but now she's the one dealing with the emotional weight. Her own emotions are creating a storm inside her, and you didn't have to do anything to make it happen. This is where most men make the mistake of breaking the silence. But here's the truth. The silence isn't your enemy, it's hers. And this is when you start to see the real power dynamic shift in your favor. Her internal struggle? That's what drives the emotional spiral. She won't always show it. Women are masters at hiding their emotional chaos behind a pretty smile. But inside, she's fighting a battle, and she's fighting it alone. It's when you leave her to confront her own demons, her own doubts, that you force her to grow emotionally. She begins to question her value in your life, and that's when the real self-awareness starts. So let her spiral. Let her emotions turn against her. It's not about punishment. It's about creating the space for her to finally process everything she's avoided, and that's the most powerful gift you can give her. The power of absence. And there you have it, the truth about what really happens when you pull away from a woman. Your absence doesn't just make her miss you, it forces her to do the emotional work she never had to do before. It makes her question herself, appreciate your value, and ultimately, it opens her eyes to things she may have been blind to while you were always there. It's hard to grasp at first, but pulling away isn't a sign of weakness. It's a display of strength and self-respect. So the next time you feel like pulling back might make you look weak or uninterested, think again. In reality, your absence doesn't just leave her wanting you more, it forces her to face the truth about herself. The truth she might have been avoiding. Whether she truly values you, and whether she was giving as much as she was receiving in the relationship. What's powerful is that, when you pull back, you make her come to terms with her own behavior, and trust me, that's when the power shifts. She stops questioning you and begins to question herself. That's where growth happens, for both of you. And that's how you change the dynamic, not by chasing, not by begging, but by having the courage to step back, focus on yourself, and let her realize your true value. Remember, this journey isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about taking back control of your life, making her see your worth without the need to beg for it. Because the more you value yourself, the more she'll start to value you too. It's a natural law of relationships. But here's the key takeaway. Absence is not just about being physically distant. It's about creating emotional space that allows for introspection, growth, and realization. When you step back, you're letting the relationship evolve, and that's something that can't be rushed or forced. It happens on its own terms, in its own time. So stand tall, hold your ground, and don't be afraid of silence. Your absence is your power. Drop a comment below and share your story. Have you pulled away before and watched her react? Or have you always been the one chasing? I want to hear from you. Let's talk about how absence creates true power in relationships. Your experiences matter, and I love reading your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights like this, and thank you for watching. Together, we're learning and growing in our understanding of true power in relationships.